Good afternoon, friends. It's Thursday. It's 2 o'clock. That means it's Facebook Live with me, Dan Gosling, and the ChopSaver Guy. Welcome. Today we are actually we're not out in the kitchen like we've been in the past. Today we are in my office where I spend most of my time. And we're going to talk about customer feedback, how to deal with reviews, negative reviews, positive reviews, and was all came about as a result of a survey that we sent out to our email list. And I have to say we were very heartened and pleased to see the results for people that really believe in the product and telling us why they believe in it and their opinions on it, because it really matters and it really helps a business like ours to keep growing. And speaking of belief, today we're a little sad here today at ChopSaver. We lost one of our nearest and dearest supporters, investors, a gentleman who believed in this a long time ago when many other people didn't. So today's little broadcast is dedicated to Bruce. So on to the survey. And this is a survey that we just sent out yesterday to our email list. And these are the questions we asked. I'm going to ask my wife to focus on the screen here, and I'll kind of talk through these. First one, how long have you been using ChopSaver? This was interesting. It's a nice mix here of longtime users, 4 years or more, and more encouragingly, new users. So we have a nice mix of new fans and old fans. Have you purchased it more than once? Once again, what you're looking for is someone like me. You're looking for repeat buyers. If you have a product or an offering or something out in the marketplace, you want people to come back again and again and again. And this shows that clearly 70% of those people are doing that. This was a key question for me that I wanted to include in this year's survey. If you're a first-time buyer, will you continue to purchase ChopSaver? Because you spend a lot of money acquiring a customer, whether it's through meeting them at a trade show or on an ad online or something like that. That first customer is the toughest one to get, especially if they've never heard of your product. And if you have a first-time buyer, you want to know, will you keep buying it? And I'm thrilled to see that 75% of people said yes, and 23% said maybe. And a little sliver here, less than probably 1%, or less than whatever that adds up to, was said no. That is a really good number. I'm very happy with that. So thank you all. This was kind of fun. Just how much, everyone wonders, how long does your lip balm last? Some people say, I can let it last for a year. Other people say, I lose mine every 2 weeks. So we had an interesting mix of between one tube a year, 19%, 2 or 3 tubes a year, 41%. This would probably be me, somewhere between the 6 tubes and the 12 tubes. But some people, this is a 5% in here, the purple, more than 12 tubes. That's more than one a month. And we love those people because it means they've got to use more ChopSaver. Even though we know ChopSaver lasts a long time, we're thrilled when people reorder. That's the prettiest one. And this one was extremely important to me because, as you may know, we have been trying to reach out to non-musicians. The product was originally created for people like me, people that play an instrument, but really, at the end of the day, it's a superior product, we believe, for anyone. And look at this, we're almost 50-50 in terms of musicians and non-musicians. The way I phrased this question was, I use ChopSaver because I play a wind or brass instrument. And right now, the blue is yes, but look at that, the two numbers are almost half and half. Curious if people have a real severe need for like a medical condition or a drug treatment. Right now, only 12% of our users identify that way, but we know that is something we can exploit and make known in our marketing, that this is if you're on chemo or if you've taken a drug therapy that's drying you out, or you have a medical condition that just really causes your body to dry out in general, ChopSaver can be a real lifesaver. And then we just asked for how, in other ways, people use ChopSaver. Of course, lips was the number one, but it was nice to see that people are experimenting with it, as we do encourage this, use it in other ways, and that's why we're thinking about new products, new ways of putting ChopSaver, the formula, out there. 17% have used it on their hands, another 18% have used it on dry skin, and some of the other things, small cuts, cuticles, 11%. So that helps to drive our product development, as we've talked about. And this one's very nice. How likely are you to recommend it to a friend? 82% said very likely. Be hard pressed to find a product with that kind of customer loyalty, and even somewhat likely, 16%. I would not recommend, doesn't even show up. I was glad to see that. Not very likely, okay, maybe a few. There is no perfect product, but we're very pleased with the kind of response that we're getting from our customers. So I'm going to put this one in we're not going to end right here, but unless I just can't get through this, because when I read this earlier today, it actually literally made me cry. Try to read this without getting too emotional, but it's very touching. Your products have helped save what's left of my sanity. I was a lip licker. By age 3, it was hell. Turns out I had multiple autoimmune conditions that I didn't find out about until my early 30s. That was 3 decades and a modest fortune that I never had, spent trying to find relief for conditions most others thought was just in my head. I can't tell you what that disbelief did to my spirit and my sanity when I was trying so desperately on my own to figure out what was wrong. I tried everything, every combination I could think of, and nothing offered the amount of length of relief ChopSaver has. My recovery is ongoing and slow at times, but sweet heaven, your product is working. It has truly been a life-changing miracle for me, and I honestly and deeply love you for creating it. So I'm glad I read that earlier today so I could get the impact of it through me and kind of process what that person is saying, that this little product, we know and love this ChopSaver, has literally changed their life in such a dramatic way. And I say thank you for taking the time to write such a beautiful testimonial. Just one other idea about how you deal with your customers and how you interact with them. Something interesting that my wife has reminded me of, when I'm on Facebook and I'm responding to comments, I have a ChopSaver company page, and then there's my personal page. So I can interact on there either as ChopSaver, the company, or as Dan Gosling, the person. And she always says, and she's absolutely right, when you respond to these people on your ads, when people post a comment, respond as you, as Dan Gosling, not as ChopSaver. It'll have a lot more impact. They will be impressed that they're talking to a real person, which they are. And we're still at the point where I can keep track of all those things and interact with all my customers. And I hope we can continue to do it that way, no matter how big we get. I know that will be a challenge maybe at some point, but I respond to all comments, positive, of course, which I love, and the negative ones. The negative ones are important too, because you respond to them. You say, thank you for trying it. Sorry it didn't work for you. And generally speaking, they're not being mean about it. They're just saying, hey, I'm disappointed. I was so excited because so many people seem to love this. It just didn't work as well for me. And of course, there's no perfect product. We're talking about our physical body and putting it on it, and everyone's going to react differently. As you've seen, the majority of people react very, very positively to ChopSaver, which is why we're here. But you're not going to hit 100%. And the ones that you don't, you treat them kindly. You say thank you for trying it. Sometimes I'll even say, what didn't you like about it? But I don't want to get into a whole back and forth. I just want to acknowledge that they were there, they were heard, and that we don't just hide negative reviews. There's actually studies out that say if you are 5 stars all the time, everything's positive, everything's perfect, people don't believe that. They actually will respond more to a product that is like 4.2 to 4.7 positive reviews, if we're using the Amazon system, which we are, which is nice to know, as opposed to a company that's 5 stars all the time. People don't believe that. That seems contrived. That seems just too hard to believe. It's not real. And it's true. It's not real. You can't expect any one product to have 100% approval rating. So if you show a high approval rating and you deal with the negativity in a positive way, in a constructive way, that's when people will start to realize there's a real person behind this, there's real people behind this, they have real integrity, which I think I do, and they respond to the overall way you respond to your customers, both good and bad. So on that note, I'm going to say thank you for all of you that responded to this. It was hundreds of people replied to this, and we couldn't do it without you. So on that, I'm going to say thank you for watching, and thank you for responding. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.